Okay, this is video 4, and we're going to finish just making the GUI buttons, graphic user interface buttons. So let's open up the script variables. That's that last thing that script we created in that last video. And I'm going to add, and global means it runs throughout the whole program. And I only do that because I always wonder if I'm going to use these variables for different things throughout the program. So, and it doesn't hurt anything really, I don't think. Sound button color equals, let's go see white. Because you can change this, turn on and off the sound throughout the program, the full screen throughout the program. And I think I'm going to add an exit button variable. Actually, I'm not. And the reason I'm not going to have that is because you don't have a mouse over. You either click it or you don't. So we'll add this sound button color. So we can just copy that. And we'll put that in, let's see, object, splash control, draw at the end. And the reason I'm doing draw at the end is it will, remember the frame in the room on the backgrounds. Actually, is that even on? It's not on. Okay, I must have turned it on by accident, off by accident. Okay, so that's on top. But if you do draw at the end, then you can draw on top of all the backgrounds. It's very end of the things that are drawn on the screen. I didn't even notice that earlier. That's kind of stupid, but okay. So now now we're in the splash control, draw end. Draw, sprite, extension. Oh, we got to bring the sprite in. So let's add, create sprite, load. Where's my button sprite? Sound button. Here it is. Call it SPR. Sound button. Push OK, and we'll call it from here Sprite sound button. There's only one, and this one is where we're going to put it at 10, 10x, 10y. And then we don't change the size of it. Rotation, nothing. And at this point, it should be oh yeah, we're going to use the global. Okay, never mind. Okay, I copied that. There you go. Global sound color and alpha. I'll keep it 1. I used to change the alpha, but it seems like it works better when you change the actual color of it. And let's give that a try. You know what? That's not where I want it. Let's put it at room width, this is the X variable, minus 130. So it's just on the other side of the full screen button. So we can put it right there. And we got a problem over here too. Full screen. We must have called that wrong. Full screen. See, it's called full A-creen. So it still worked, but I didn't like the name of it. Okay, now it works. Okay, so now let's add another sprite. Create sprite. Load. Okay, so I just got a phone call, so I had to pause it for a second. Okay, so I'm going to get the sprite exit button, because we're going to make our exit button. And we won't center that one. SPR underscore exit button. Okay, so now we got our sprite, and once again we're just going to draw it. And since it's in this one, since it only changes color when you click it, so I'm not going to give it a variable for the color. So I'm just going to say draw sprite extended, but we're still going to need here we should make a variable for that, because it's still going to have to change color. Sprite exit button. What I'm going to do, I'll put a variable in the game controller. So at this point, we'll just call it dark gray. Okay, so 0 is just the one sprite, and this is the one that I'm going to put at 10 and 10. So it'll be 10 and 10 X and Y from the top left. And then we're not going to change its size. It's not going to rotate. And we'll just make the color C. It's going to do it. See, sometimes if you do that, it won't come up. But if you do that, give it a little space and then go back to it, it'll show up. Dark gray and alpha 1. Okay, let's try that. So there's your button for the exit. Doesn't work. Nothing's working right now, but these will be workable right here. So okay, so let's go ahead and add the check full. Well, let's check the sound button first. So in the scripts, create script. We'll call this script check sound button. And we can copy that. And in the step, let's create some more code in the step, and we'll call it check GUI. And in here we'll add script check sound button. So it's going to run through that cycle in the step, which is constantly going, bam, 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 and it'll be constantly checking for you to click on that button. Input control. Okay. Check sound button. Okay, now and this script's going to be used in the game controller too. It's just going to constantly be checking for sound. And what I like to do is put variables for everything. So x equals room width minus 130. And the way I'm coming up with these numbers is draw at the end. Let's call this draw GUI. Draw GUI. Okay, so here's the sound. This is the placement of the sound button. So I'll grab the X and Y. We can look at it over here. Now, I'll be deleting that, but so X equals, that's the X, and then Y is going to equal 10. Okay, so we know what that is. Now MX, I will say, equals mouse X. So MX, mouse X. Mouse Y equals mouse Y. And I'm going to use just S for size, which if we look at the sound button, see, we can see it's 32 by 32. So I'll just say that equals 32. Okay, now we got our variables. Now what we got to do is I'm going to have it, let's see. Okay, first we'll check if you've clicked it with the mouse. If mouse checked, let's do, yeah, it's just going to be a release thing. Mouse check button released. Mouse button left. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. If MX, which is the mouse X, is larger than X, which is where we placed it, room width minus 130, and mouse X is smaller than X plus size, S is the size. So in between those areas, it's looking for that. And then we're going to look at the, that's for the X dimensions. And MY is larger than Y, and MY is smaller than Y plus size. That's where we're going to happen. If your mouse is there, then something's going to happen. Okay, so in here we're going to go if, okay, global dot sound on. Okay, that means it's true. If it was false, if we want to use false, we'd add that. Okay, that means it's true. But we need to make that variable. And I'm going to put that in the variables script. And we're going to make that true, because we start out with true. So global sound on equals true. If global sound on equals true, then global dot sound button color equals C dark gray. So if your mouse clicks it, it turns gray. And then global dot sound on equals false. Audio pause all. Okay, then we'll say else. We can actually copy all this stuff right here. Okay, why am I getting an error here? Audio pause all. Oh. That's a call to a function. Okay, now here, if it is, this is saying that if the audio is off, sound is off, then we'll change the button to see white. Sound on equals true, and audio resume all. And that should work. But we don't have any audio going yet. So, okay, do we add it in here? Check GUI. Let's see if that button works. And yep, there it is. And I'm going to add one more line before I end this one in the check sound button. I'm going to say or keyboard released virtual key. We'll do F1. Okay, that works. And we'll try that out. So you can do it with your keyboard, or you can do it with your mouse. So I'm pushing F1. Didn't work. Oh, duh. Let's do it like this. We can grab all the code. We don't need all this code. Open it up. Keyboard check released. This will just be for the mouse. Because when you're using the keyboard, you don't need to know where things are. So we'll do this. Just yank out the X and Y stuff. And I think that should work. And that's basically your F1 key on your keyboard that we're going to be pushing. And there it goes. F1, 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 F1. Okay, I'm going to call that good for now. It's starting to get a little long. Alright, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Alright, everybody, be good. Bye.